Hi, welcome to AllBrands After Hours with me, your host, Courtney Douthat. Welcome to the show where we hang out and craft together. Today we'll be using our Embroider ScanNCut as well as the awesome feature, My Connection, to be able to make a custom applique. Let's embroider. So you heard me correct. We are going to be using our Embroider ScanNCut to embroider. We're actually going to use an awesome feature called My Connection. My Connection allows your ScanNCut to talk to your either Embroider Luminaire or Embroider Stellaire machines. Now, Courtney, do I have to have a Embroider Luminaire or Stellaire to be able to use My Connection? Yes, you do. You have to have an SDX 325 or an XDX 330 ScanNCut that will work with a Embroider Luminaire or a Embroider Stellaire machine. Now, if you have those, we're about to have some fun. So I'm going to walk you step by step how to do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So first, we need to activate the My Connection feature on our machines. Let's do this. All right, so we're on our ScanNCut. Now, if you notice, my Wi-Fi is already set up. However, it hadn't been set up, well, I would need to set it up. So if you haven't set up your Wi-Fi, this is how you do it real quick. We're going to select the little Wi-Fi logo, and you're going to want to make sure that your WLAN or WLAN, whatever you call it, WLAN, is on. And then you're going to want to go to the Setup Wizard. Once you're in the Setup Wizard, it's going to ask you which Wi-Fi do you want to go to. So in my case, I would select this one. There we go. Hit OK. And it's like, hey, you already have something set to that. Is that okay? For this example, I'm going to say that it's okay to just do that. But if you hadn't, then it wouldn't give you this prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to the one I already have. But what if you hadn't done that, you would just want to put in whatever your Wi-Fi is. So whatever your Wi-Fi password is. And remember that it is case sensitive. So if you have all uppercase or lowercase, make sure that you're doing upper or lowercase when you type it in. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit next. And it's asking me, hey, go ahead and register your machine on Canvas Workspace. And if you haven't ever done Canvas Workspace before, I highly recommend it. It is Embroider's free software that they give you with your ScanNCut. So you want to make sure that this number right here is put into your Canvas Workspace to link them up. Alrighty, so if you just Google Canvas Workspace, it will pull up for you. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. I am going to log in. If you have never logged in or created an account, just go ahead and hit register and fill in that information. But I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. Alrighty, now I'm here. I'm going to select my name over here at the top. Alrighty, and then we're going to go to machine registration and then select to add a new machine. And now we're going to type in that number that they gave me earlier on my ScanNCut. Alrighty. Okay. And then if we clicked OK, it's going to go ahead and give me the pin to put to my ScanNCut. So if we select OK, now there's where we put that pin that they just gave us in Canvas. Select OK. Now it's saying, hey, by hitting OK, you're okay with these being connected? And yes, I am. All right. And it's been set up. How easy was that? Alrighty. And now it's got my information on there that, hey, this is your Canvas Workspace information. These are now connected. Are you cool with that? Yes, I am. So yes, I am. It looks great. I love it. Alrighty. So we're going to go back. And now look at that. It's all set up beautifully. So our Wi-Fi, hey, and there's an update available. I love when it lets me know now that we're connected to Wi-Fi, hey, there's updates available. Which if you want to hit the update, all you have to do is click it. It's going to say, hey, do you want to update this? And you're just going to say, update. And now you just leave it be for a little bit and it's going to go ahead and update it to the newest one. Now, while she's doing her update, because again, if you see an update, go ahead and click it. Just do it. And that's another wonderful thing about setting up the Wi-Fi and just having it ready is that you can easily just click it and then go do something else while she updates. Alrighty, so we're going to register a new machine and we're going to input the code that it gives us on our machine. So let's go over to our machine and get that code. You're going to do the same thing. Go to your Wi-Fi, make sure it's on. Go ahead and connect your Wi-Fi if you haven't done that already. What you're going to do is you're going to go all the way to the end because you want to go to here where it's My Connection or Experience. We're going to register it. All right, so we're going to use that code right there. So let's go ahead and we're going to take that code that we just got from our machine. Alrighty, hit OK. And we're gonna give that pin to our machine so we can go ahead and connect them. Okay, and I just typed in my pin and hit OK. So now it's gonna say processing, processing, processing for a minute. All right, so in the time I did that, my ScanNCut is done uploading, doing all of her awesome things. My machine didn't have any updates, thank goodness. So a little heads up, if you ever do update anything on these machines, if you don't notice that the update has happened, turn the machine off, turn it back on. The update's there. Sometimes it's one of those turn it back off, turn it back on things, so don't worry. So now that all of that is set, I get to actually do the fun part of all of this and actually create something cool. I want to make a little Easter tea towel. So let's jump into my machine. Now, I could bring any design under the sun that I wanted to. In the last video, if you didn't see our last video, I scanned in a design that I just found online. It was very, very cute. So I could do something like that again, where I scan something in and then create stitches to stitch out and make custom appliques that way. Or I could bring anything in the machine if I wanted to do that. So I'm going to jump in the machine this time and just see if there's anything I like. But just so you know, that option is there if you want it. So I'm going to go to pattern. Okay, so I'm going to go here. And I know that this is where my holiday ones live. There's a little Easter bunny with some eggs. That would be cute. Let's scroll down again. And one more time. And I know that there's a little duck that's cute. Scroll down again. This is the little guy I was thinking about. Now you could do this cute little bunny, but I think this little bitty chick is adorable. I think I could make him out of applique. How cute would that be? Alrighty, so I know I want to up the size of my guy because I'm thinking as a whole, I want him to be about 6 inches tall. So I'm going to go ahead and change my height. Now, it's going to automatically change my width, which is what I want because I want him to be proportional. So we're going to go ahead and up this. Let me do it up here so you guys can see. Oh, went a little far. Beautiful. Okay, I love this. So the whole thing is going to be this size. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And now it's going to break down all the pieces of my little guy. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start with his head because for some reason that felt, you know, top from bottom. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and select his head. Hit OK. Now, it's telling me, hey, since you said the whole thing, you want it to be that size, this is what the size of this particular piece is, which is totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit set, and it's going to set it on my mat. So I have a fabric mat here, your tan fabric mat. I have the tea towel that I want to put this on, and then I'm just going to stick that back there. And I also have my fabric that I know I want my egg and my chick out of. So for the first part, we're going to use our chick. Now this does have a heat and bond light on the back of it that I've already pre-treated with it. You don't have to use a heat and bond light if you don't want to. You can use a Wonder Under, a Hot Fix, Steam a Seam, whatever you want to use. But if you're doing an applique, I kind of feel like it's good to pre-treat your fabric, and the ScanNCut loves when you pre-treat your fabric because it gives it a beautiful crisp cut. Of course, it can cut it without, but it just makes it easier. So now this is where some people differ. If you want to do fabric side down on a fabric mat like I do, that's awesome. If you want to do paper side down on a low tack mat, then that's okay, because I've seen people do it either way. I've seen some people even take off the paper backing and do that straight on a mat. It's whatever you prefer. I personally like to do fabric side down on a fabric mat because I'm more worried about my fabric than I am about this paper backing personally. But again, it's 100% whatever it is that you want to do. So I'm just sticking that fabric side down on my fabric mat. The reason I'm not doing it paper side down is because the paper will get stuck to my fabric mat and it will be a nightmare. So I don't like doing that. Now, Courtney, you flip the material. As that could mean you have to flip your design. Well, my chick didn't have a direction, but if it had been like a name or something, yes, I'd want to flip it. But for this case, it didn't really matter, so I didn't flip. But again, if you had a horse and you want to make sure the horse was facing a certain way, yeah, just flip your design. It takes 2 seconds in the machine to do. Alrighty, so it's on there, and yes, I'm leaving that paper on there because it's not gonna hurt anything. Now, Courtney, are you worried that your fabric blade is going to be cutting through paper? No, I do this all the time, honestly. So there is one blade that I consider like my applique blade, but it doesn't hurt it and dull it as bad. Alrighty, so again, I have my rotary blade in here. If you don't have the rotary blade and you have the thin fabric blade, that totally works too. It's whatever your preferences are. I hardly ever use my thin fabric blade unless it's just regular cotton fabric because I do love my rotary blade. So I'm gonna go ahead and scan my material in because I did put that heat and bond light on the back of it and I didn't tell it I didn't cover the whole thing in Heat and Bond Light because I knew I wouldn't need the whole section. So I only covered a small bit of it. So I want to make sure my chick is on the section where my Heat and Bond Light is. It's not fully necessary to do this, but I like to do it. Plus I have the feature, why not use it? You can see the Heat and Bond Light logo, that's hilarious. So I'm going to take my chick and just scrunch him down right there. So now I know that he is definitely going to be catching where that Heat and Bond Light is. Hit OK. Please select, and I want to cut. All right, everything looks great. Everything looks good. Let's hit start. And here she goes. She's gonna come on down and get to cutting. Now, while she's cutting out, of course, I want to remind you where I'm going to be. If you are near the Biloxi area, so Biloxi, Mississippi, I will be there on these dates right here with Everything Embroidery Market. And then after that, the week after, I will be at OSQE in Kenner, Louisiana on these dates right here, and I'll be teaching classes at both events, so come hang out with me. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And when I'm not teaching, I will be in the AllBrands booth with brother, hanging out, saying hello, again, just demoing some machines, having a good time. So definitely make sure you come and hang out with us at those events. I'm really looking forward to them. And she's done. Alrighty, so I should be good. I should get my spatula tool, blah blah blah. Okay, one. It looks like he like ran through, you know, those like cartoons. All right, I am gonna grab my spatula tool because even though she is treated, we wanna be nice to her. Your machine did a good job cutting it out. Help her off of her mat. There we go. Oh, it's so good. Look at that, look at him. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so we have our first piece. I'm gonna lay him there and done with that. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put fabric side down on my mat for my egg part. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get my mat ready. Here we go, and load her in. All right, now this part's very important. There, select the next part or finish. I want to select the next part. All right, so it brings me back to this screen. So I'm gonna check my little bottom right there for the bottom of my egg and hit OK. And set, because it's already been resized. We did at the beginning. Everything looks good there. Again, I can of course scan my material in if I want to make sure that I'm getting on the spot that I actually put that Heat and Bond Light on. All right, there it is. And bring it on over. Beautiful. I'm going to hit OK. Please select, and I want to cut. There we go, and hit start. There she goes. All right, and done. Alrighty. It's so good. That is so good. Okay, Courtney, focus. Alrighty, where's my spatula? There we go. So if you want to come down and bend your mat a little. Again, your machine did such a good job cutting. Give her a little help here to get it off the mat. All right, there she is. How cute did that? Why does that look like a flower, like a little tulip? Neat. All right, so done with my mat. I'm gonna put the protective cover on it later. Make sure to put your protective covers on. All right, so we've got our pieces right here. They are so cute. Now, Courtney, when does the embroidery start? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to send the design over. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and select finish. Okay. Okay, now I am actually gonna go ahead and hit add. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit back, and I'm gonna grab everything right there. Hit OK. Set. All right, and there he is. Now I'm gonna delete this guy out because I don't need him anymore. Okay, come home. Because what we're going to do is when we're in this home screen, we're gonna click over again to my connection, which is right here. And I want to send something from my ScanNCut to my machine. So I'm gonna go back to pattern where I know that my design is, which was in the holiday section all the way at the bottom. And we're gonna up it to the size that we had, which that height was a 6. There we go, hit OK. There she is. We're gonna select everything, hit OK, and set. There it is. All right, so do you see where this is like grayed out right here on the sides? It's because that is the largest hoop size that it thinks that you have for the machine that you just connected. So whenever we connected our machines. So that's why it's grayed out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit transfer. And what it's going to do is put it in a pocket. It's going to put it in a temporary pocket for me. Oh, and it says it's already in that pocket. Now, one thing is you can only put one thing in that pocket at a time. So only one thing can go in that pocket at a time. So whatever you're transferring back and forth, just assume if you put something else in that pocket, that old thing's gone. So let's jump over to my Luminaire machine and grab this design out of there. So this is where it starts to get to be a lot of fun in my opinion. What we're going to do is we're going to come down here to my design center. If you have your pen, make sure you use it. I don't know where I put mine, so my finger is going to work today. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're going to come right here to these little shapes. And then if you notice, there's a ScanNCut right there because we've connected our ScanNCut. And look who that is. That's our little bird. We're going to hit OK. And there she is laid out on there beautifully. All right, now there are a few things wrong with him in my opinion that I want to go ahead and fix, which are easy fix. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see him a little bit better. There he is. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and if you notice there's a double line right here where the ScanNCut in its head, oh, well, you would have just covered that with vinyl or whatever you were doing. So it wasn't thinking about that line. So I want to delete that line out. Courtney, how am I going to do that? Well, it's really easy. You just use the eraser tool. It's pretty straightforward. So I like to zoom in a little. And I love that you can zoom in so easily on this machine and just delete that line out. Now, if it didn't bother you that it stitched it out, then that's fine, but it bothered me. So, I'm using my finger, and when I do get to that corner, I do like to go in just a little bit to make sure I'm not deleting out something I don't want to delete. You're like, Courtney, that's probably why they give you the pen. that is probably why they give you the pen. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna zoom back out. Look at that. It's like that line was never there. What line? We didn't see a line. Okay, so now that we've got that on there, he's cute, he's gorgeous. What we can do is actually start coloring him. So you're like, wait, what? Now, if you didn't want to do an applique and you just wanted to send that design over, you could actually just make it stitches. You do not have to make it an applique. And the way you do that is you would actually select a color. So I'm going to select pink for the shell, for the little egg. And then you could go to the little paint can and just select it. And that would actually turn it into stitches if you wanted to. So same thing for our little bird. I'm going to turn him yellow. So that would actually turn it into really cute stitches. But you also need to do it for what we're doing. So I'm going to actually color in his nose. Now, if you remember, we didn't cut out a piece for his nose. So I actually need to create that out of stitches. So this is working great. I'm going to get black for his eyes. I'm just going to select both of his eyes, turn his nose back orange. This would not be happening if I actually use the proper tools. Now, how cool is that? Oh, I love it. Okay, so right now I made stitches. So I'm going to hit next. And it actually makes it into a beautiful embroidery design. So there's no applique to this. It's just my embroidery design. But I actually do want applique. So I'm going to go ahead and hit set. Okay. And I'm going to go to edit. Now, if you notice, all these colors are now here because originally it was just one color, which was just the black. So I'm going to go to edit. And I'm going to come here to this little shield. This is actually your patch maker tool. And I'm going to select that I want to do a patch and not just like a border patch. And you're like, Courtney, it's grayed out. What do? You select which part of it you want to be an applique. So what color? In this case, my yellow for my bird. And I'm going to go next. And I'm actually going to turn that into a satin stitch and hit preview. And now it turned it into a custom applique. So I'm going to hit next. And there it is. So now if you notice, it gave me my, where it's going to stitch it out at first. It actually gave me a cut file. So if I wanted to send this back to my ScanNCut, so say I took a design from inside the machine and had it as an applique, I could send that cut file over to my ScanNCut and turn it into an actual cut file to cut out. So you can go both ways, not just one way. Alrighty, so now I have that. It looks great. I'm going to actually go ahead. So if you notice right here, it's a little zigzag with the line through it. That means don't sew this. So if you notice right here where it was just that yellow, it's telling, hey, don't sew this because it's actually an applique now. So if I was to select this next part, which is the eyes, I want that. So I'm going to scroll down. Now here's my orange, which was the nose. I want that. There we go. Here's my pink, which happens to be the other part that I want to be an applique. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back to that shield, back to an applique selection. So if it was just one solid applique the normal way, well, okay, that's fine, just to do it like, this is what I use to make patches. So if you wanted to make a patch, that's how you could do it. But I actually want an applique. So I'm gonna hit that, and then I'm going to go ahead and select right here, this little down. Select the pink part, because I know that's my egg part. Hit next. And then I want a beautiful satin stitch. Hit preview. And there she is. Now that's an applique as well. Now you could tell it, so say if you did have letters and you wanted it to just be the outside of that applique, you could do that, or inside and outside, or just the inside of it. So it does give you those options. Mine's just one solid piece. So hit next. There it goes. It's like, hey, it's gonna be messed up. Yeah, it's fine. How cool. Okay, so now that part is an applique. That part's an applique. Let's see. Now this black part was the whole thing. I don't want that to stitch out, so I am actually going to tell it, hey, don't stitch that part. And now I can hit OK, and there's my applique design. There's my actual stitch out for me. How awesome! Alrighty, so I have my tea towel hooped right here into a 9.5 by 9.5, and I'm going to go ahead and load her in. Okay, it's telling me, hey, the embroidery carriage is going to move. All right, so we are good to go. We are ready to stitch. So the first part it's telling me it's gonna stitch out is actually my egg. So I know that my egg color is actually going to be this pink. I really thought about doing some King Star thread, but that seemed a little bright, and I don't know, but so I am going to do it with this pink. Everything looks great, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and hit it. Let's hit start. So now it's stitched out where it wants me to put our little design, which I am going to take the backing off. So you see how it's got that shiny side? That's where we need to go ahead and set this down. Now I do need to bring it over to my iron station to iron that down. If you have one of those dime, dime wool pressing mats that fit in the hoops, and you can get them for the different size hoops, those are phenomenal. Love those. All of mine are at home. Alrighty, so I put that on there. There she is. I went and just heated it with my iron. Heated it. You heard my accent come out there. Alright, everything looks good. We're going to hit that one again. And she's going to come around. Now, this would have been the time that she would give you the stitch out where you could go around and cut. We're not doing any of that. So we're completely missing that step. So this step's not even actually necessary. I could have told it to not do this part of the stitch out because there's no point. There really is no point because look at that. This is, oh no, applique scissors. Like, no, we're not doing that. Beautiful. Alrighty, so now we just hit the green button again. And she's gonna give us a beautiful satin stitch all the way around. I love this machine. And just for time's sake, I am forwarding this or speeding this up just a little bit quicker. Now I'm gonna let you watch it stitch out, but it did not go this fast. If you have any machine that would actually do a beautiful satin stitch this fast, well, of course, let me know, but this did great. All right. Oh, that's so good. It looks so good. Okay, Courtney, calm down. Calm down. All right, so next we're going to do our bird. So I am going to switch out the threads. All right, and change it to our yellow color. And guys, I'm using all exquisite thread. I personally really like exquisite thread. It's a low-cost thread that I actually use for embroidery and sewing, so that way I'm not having to store multiple threads. Now, my favorite quilting thread is actually Arfil. It's a 100% cotton thread. So, because when it's a blanket, in my head, I'm like, oh, I want the cotton to be, or the thread to be wearing down just like how the quilt is wearing down, like that softness. So I love that thread, but for embroidery and sewing, I use exquisite. It's so good. All right, hit the green button and she's off. So, let me know in the comments what's your favorite thread. I know a lot of people really like Robeson Anton, Isacord. There's so many different ones out there. And I like both of those, but my heart is with exquisite. I'm sorry. It is. And so it's telling me, hey, this is where you put in your part. Now again, I'm just gonna take the paper backing off of this. Oh, off of this cut. This is so good. And lock her on down. Hit that green button and she's good to go. Now, in full transparency, I should have switched these. So to be completely transparent, there is a little bit of a yellow part that's sticking over the pink, and that's bothering me, and I wish I would have switched them whenever I was creating the design in the machine, or in the Luminaire a minute ago. So no one's gonna notice it, but I notice it. So to be fully transparent, there is like a little bit of a yellow hanging down. The satin stitch is gonna cover it, but that's just me being like, particular about things, but I know some of you might be also particular about those things. So that is something I wish I had done differently. And our very last high-speed sew out sped up to see a beautiful satin stitch being made around the border. Ooh, look at her go. Okay, now it's time to switch out to the black thread for the eyes. Okay, and here we go. And to our last color. And it's done! That came out so good! It's so cute! Okay, this is a tear wash. I know, I should probably be way more gentle when I tear it off, but I'm just like a kid at Christmas, just excited. Now, tell me in the comments, do you tear away the inside? Some people don't. I found that out. Some people don't. Some people leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Oh my goodness. It came out so cute. I am so excited to have this as one of our tea towels in the kitchen. The kids are playing around. How cute will that look? Honestly, I kind of like the stripes, so I usually tuck my tea towels in a lot, or my kitchen towels, but I might have to do I might just do the full thing on this one. It's so good. And how easy was that? And guys, we just created a custom embroidery applique design. It didn't even have to be an applique. We chose, for this one to make an applique. We could have done a custom embroidery with our brother ScanNCut. How amazing is that? Now, yes, the Luminaire Stellaires help because they do the embroidering part. But think about it. You can bring anything in now. Now, the Disney ones in the 330 are copyrighted, so you can't do those. You can't transfer those over. The ones in the machine, you can. So that's all I'm saying. But how amazing is that? Oh, I think it came out so good. So let me know down below, did you learn something cool today? Did you learn something neat? If you have a Stellaire or a Luminaire and you don't have a 325 or a 330 ScanNCut and you have a different edition, go ahead and get the 325 and the 330, because that alone, there was no software. No software. It was all built-in stuff into the machine. And now that you've already connected it, that whole section of the video that we did today, just ignore it. just, you can start sending things back and forth willy-nilly, all crazy. And now anything in the machine, any of your designs, any of your Kimberbells, or any of your Anita Good designs, like your that you need to do appliques, I think it's cool. So you can't tell I'm a giant geek when it comes to this kind of stuff. Oh, if I had done the King Star, oh, that would have been pretty. All right, don't forget that the Brothers ScanNCut is available on our website, AllBrands.com, as well as our Brothers Stellaire. So if you want the machine to be able to go back and forth, they're both available on our website. Again, AllBrands.com. And we do appreciate when you do purchase through us, not only because we're the ones that want to teach you how to use the things you get, but also because you are supporting a mom and pop and a family-owned business. So thank you so much. We truly appreciate that. All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe because it's the easiest way to let us know that you guys want more videos. Y'all have a good night. Bye. The mic over. Don't break the mic. Don't break the mic. I need another mic. Okay. Oh, goodness. Oh, jumping over the chair. All right. Zoom in a little for his eyes. See, because that always wants to do that to me. And just select stop doing that, Courtney. Look, big hoops, and I cannot love. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. All right, I have my Sam driver. I'm gonna go ahead and unhoop her because I'm excited to see. Are you excited to see? I like how I just checked to make sure we were actually recording because that has happened before. All right, whole videos, guys, whole videos. Just not recorded. All righty, let's see. I love a good Sam driver. They help get the hoops off so good. Sorry.